Hey guys, Eric Cogorno here with Performance Golf. In today's video, we're talking about the secret to starting the downswing. I'm gonna give you one simple drill along with a couple key concepts and feels to help you really hit the ball more solid during your downswing. This drill I'm gonna show you, I gave to a recent student of mine who was struggling, saying, Eric, what am I supposed to feel when I start the downswing? I'm pretty inconsistent when I'm out there playing, and I'd like to hit the ball consistently more solid. And I showed him this drill I'm gonna show you here. When we look at great golfers, one commonality that they all have is that they start their downswing with the lower body. And specifically what they're able to do from the face-on angle, and you can reference this club in line with the golf ball or the ball itself, what they're able to do is get all of their hips past the golf ball line into their finish position. And maybe we'll show a couple examples on the screen here. You'll see when they get done, their hips are fully beyond that golf ball. And what getting your hips more forward during the downswing and fully past that golf ball, which helped my student a lot, what that's gonna help you with as well, and the benefits there are really a couple things. Number one, during the downswing, as I get my hips forward, that helps get my low point forward. So with an iron, of course, we want to hit ball first, ground second. So the more the hips are forward, that'll helps hit the ground more forward in front of the golf ball. The other thing it does is on the way down, the more my hips get forward, it helps get the club a bit more inside, from inside into the golf ball from down the line. It also helps shallow out the angle of attack. So to hit a nice little, smooth, thin divot there past the golf ball. And it helps with power. So solid contact, swing from inside, shallow angle of attack, and power would be the benefits, right? That sounds good. So when I was working with my student, I put a club here in line with the golf ball. You could do the same thing. And we're gonna start with like little half swings and build up to full, and we'll work through some of the feels and drills as we go. But the big picture thing that you wanna get done here is be aware when you're swinging. We'll just start kind of left arm parallel half swings. By the time you get into your finish position, all of you, if we draw a line up from the golf ball, all of my hips should be beyond that point. My weight's fully forward. So let me hit one first to start with. I've just got an 8-iron here, and you could start with something similar. And we're gonna focus just on the end goal, get my hips fully forward of the golf ball line. And so there's a nice high, pretty straight 8-iron. Felt like kind of a half swing, and all I focused on was get into this finish position. And by focusing on getting into that finish position and that destination, a lot of good things are gonna happen to get there, right? So even though we're focused mainly on getting into this finish position, this video is about how to start the downswing. What I'm telling you is if you get your brain's intention on getting to here, that will start good things happening much earlier. If I've got a clear idea of where I'm going, the process to get there will start much earlier. We'll talk about the timing. Let's hit one more with that. You can do this along with me when you're practicing. Get all of your hips past the golf ball line into the follow through. And there's the same thing. High, nice, pretty straight, maybe 10 feet right at my target, 8-iron, hips fully pushed forward. Now, as I'm doing this, the timing element, like we mentioned, my student said, Eric, am I supposed to do this right away when I start down? Am I supposed to feel it kind of halfway down? Like, when do I start doing this? And even though we're trying to get to that finish point, the reality is we're really starting this right away. Like if we show some players on the screen here, we'll see when they're shifting their weight, if we look at a line relative to the golf ball, they're getting a lot of their hips forward of the golf ball pretty early. In fact, by impact, almost all their hips are already beyond it. At least 75, 80% of their hips are already forward. And in fact, if we look at those good players from the top, they're starting to push forward of that pretty darn early. So it's happening right away from the top of the backswing. So I've got the same intention, get my hips fully past the golf ball, but I want to start feeling that right away to start down. There's another good, little bit of an overdraw 8-iron, but still a nice strike, solid shot. Now, with that, my student said, okay, Eric, I'm supposed to get my hips fully forward. That sounds good. I get the timing of it, It happens right away. But how am I supposed to feel it? Should I feel that with my lead side? Should I feel that with my trail side? And the answer is both, or either. We can do either one. So if you're someone who likes to feel more of the lead side feels, we can feel that to start down. And what that would feel like from the top of the swing to get to the point where the hips are fully forward of the ball, you would feel like you're falling in to your left foot. So my belt buckle is going forward towards my left ankle. And if there was like a weight scale under my foot, I'm falling. My whole body in the early part of the downswing feels like it's falling into my left. So I would feel, okay, I'm falling forward, and then I'm pushing my belt buckle up out towards the target. You notice when I'm doing this, when I'm getting my hips fully forward of the ball line, do they look like this, where my hips are still pointed at the golf ball? No, right? No good player looks like that. The hips are not only fully forward of the golf ball, they're also pointed at the target, which means they have some rotation. So as I'm falling into my lead side, I'm not just getting my left hip to go towards the target forever. I'm falling into my lead side, getting my hips fully forward of the ball, and the belt buckle points right at the target. So I'm getting all the hips past the golf ball. I'm gonna feel like I'm falling into my lead foot early in the downswing, making sure my hips finish fully towards the target and fully in front of the golf ball. And there's another nice high, little bit left draw shot, but hit that as solid as I could, little draw to it, very solid. And you can always check yourself in that finish position. Did my hips finish fully past the golf ball or not? I need to be able to do that. So falling into the left side would be a good place to start there. But some players, you might not like that, though. You might want to say, hey, what about my trail side? And you can use this as well, a sensation of pushing off the trail foot. So if we put a line right up the right side of my leg and body here, we do this with a good player on the screen, we're gonna see during the downswing, my right hip continuously gets farther away from that line all the way through into the follow through. It gets way beyond that line into my finish to get to the point where my hips are fully past the golf ball. Again, why do we want to do this? To hit the ball solid, swing from inside, shallow angle of attack, and more power. If I did this poorly like my student, and I come down and my hips stay back, that's going to get the opposite effects. Low point behind the ball, fats and thins, poor contact, club path from outside, steep divots, no power. So if any of those sound like you really want to make sure you're doing these feels into the finish. So if you like right side feels, we can have that line up my right hip, and I'm feeling like that right hip or right foot is getting farther from that line. Like I'm pushing off my right foot into the finish position. And again, the hips always finish pointed towards the target, not at the golf ball. But I like this little visual. It's a really easy way to do this. Let's feel the right side feels here. So the right hip and right foot I'm pushing off of. Hips finish all the way forward of the golf ball. So there's another one. Good, solid strike. Pretty straight, right, far, solid. You're going to be hard pressed to find any good ball striker who doesn't have their hips fully pushed forward like that. In fact, any player I've ever given this to who does that gets better, hits the ball more solid. So if you want any of those 4 benefits, or you sound like the golfer who has those 4 issues, this is going to be a really good one for you. Put the club in line with the golf ball, practice at home, out at the golf course, out at the range. Any questions, as always, leave us a comment down below. Appreciate you guys watching.